But and then we heard Jim Vandehei, the president, a few days ago with just a despicable exchange with a reporter on Air Force One when asked about the Epstein files and some of the emails that were made public the other day. This obviously is something that Donald Trump didn't want to be made public, saw the writing on the wall on Sunday night and said, OK, I've got to get behind this and pretend I've been behind it all along. What do you think is the impact? We don't know what's going to be in these files, but what happens when they are released?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical that we're going to see a lot of new information that gets released. Remember, the Justice Department, both under Biden and under Trump, has been sitting on all of these documents. And there's a lot of people internally in both administrations who had a heavy incentive to get the worst stuff out, particularly if they wanted to move the investigation along. And by the way, I think there's a lot of innuendo in there, and there's going to be a legal justification to black out a lot of information that might be very tawdry, but is not illegal. So I wouldn't think you're going to suddenly get this amazing new portrait of all the grossness around Epstein and the people who affiliated with him. On the question about Trump and reporters, again, we do become immune to this a little bit, but give me a break. You're the president of the United States, and a woman asks you a question and you call her a frickin' piggy? Like, in what world is that okay? If I did that as the CEO of my company, I should probably lose my job. I certainly should not be trusted by anybody around because it's so damn disrespectful. And that question, and if you go back and roll the tape on the question where he said, that's so rude, you're so insubordinate, it wasn't even that interesting of a question. It was a question anybody would ask. It was asked in a totally neutral tone. There was no anger in it. Anybody who's skeptical, who just, oh, I hate the media, just go watch it yourself. Your eyes aren't going to lie. Look at it. And did that seem like a reasonable question? And then did it seem like a reasonable response? If it was a reasonable question and it was an unreasonable response, why? Well, I'm guessing that those questions are starting to get under the president's skin because it's basically a controversy of his own making. He created the Frankenstein that created the Epstein obsession, and they won't let it go, and he won't let it go. And now it continues to haunt him, and it makes it almost impossible for them to do what J. Mart was talking about, which is right. You don't have to be some political Svengali to look at what happened 2 weeks ago and say, geez, what should I do? I don't know. Maybe you should focus on prices, the economy, jobs, get an anxious public feeling a little bit more confident, feel like you're putting your emphasis into getting the economy in a good place where if AI comes as quickly as people think it is, that everybody can benefit from it. When you're not doing that, people sour on you. And when people sour on you broadly, it's a signal to your base that little by little, they can start to question you. They can start to maybe put a little pressure on you. And that's what you're seeing happen within MAGA. And that is a very, very significant change. This was a 100% total loyalty movement that is no longer 100% total loyalty, and that has political consequences.
And by the way, for anybody that does go back and looks in the MAGA base at those questions, they will see that Mary Bruce and the Bloomberg Reporter were only asking the questions that they have demanded be answered for years now.
Right.
I do want to say, John Lemire, I agree with Jim Vandehei that I'm skeptical, and we've said it here for months now. I'm skeptical that when the files are released, there are going to be any massive revelations, which really raises the big question for me, which is why is Donald Trump fighting something so aggressively that Ken Delaney and other of our reporters have said for years? Like Donald Trump's not on the list. Why is he fighting so hard to keep this information out when the Biden administration and people in the Justice Department had a look at these files for 4 years? Now, I'm not saying that people at the top would have leaked bad information, but we know how bureaucracies work. Stuff slips out during war. War secrets slip out. Certainly, if there was a smoking gun in there, it would have already been released by now. And Epstein probably destroyed all incriminating evidence after he got arrested the first time. So, again, the real mystery here is, if all of that is true, why has he been fighting this so hard against his own political best interest and declaring a war on his own MAGA base?
Well, it's not just a mystery to us. What's perhaps so startling is it's a mystery to those closest to him. As I wrote last week about the Epstein matter, his inner circle at the White House, they don't know. They don't fully know.
They
It's
don't
not
know what? Why he's fighting it?
Why he's so upset? Like, what possibly could be in there? There's a chance that Trump himself doesn't totally know. This is material. There's no client list per se. That's what MS Now reporting has been all along. But there is, a trove of materials, pictures, documents, letters, whatever it might be. And it's not quite clear that Trump himself knows everything that's in there, partially because the estate has had some of it. It's not all just been in federal custody. So that's part of it here. But it clearly angers him very much. And maybe there's no suggestion there's something criminal about Trump, but potentially embarrassing about him or someone very close to him, J. Mart. And it is something that he simply can't shake. And it does, to Jim Vandehey's point, it has given Republicans an opening. And look, let's not call Donald Trump a lame duck just yet. But it does also feel like here, Republicans suddenly have the permission structure to question him, to rebel a little bit. And for the first time, maybe, just maybe, start to look beyond him.
Yeah, it's the first hair fracture you could see on the MRI, right? You can barely make it out, but if you look closely enough and squint, you can see a slight little fracture there, right? And guess what happens to those fractures? They don't get smaller, man. They only get wider and wider, right? And so I think that's the challenge he has. And guess what? The reason he's so cranky when he gets asked about it, because the reporters who ask him those questions, that's the only intrusion of reality he has on his life. Everybody else in his world, his staff, congressional allies, the friends in New York he talks to on the phone, Sean Hannity, whatever. It's all people who are reinforcing him and bucking him up. They're all sycophants. The only non-sycophants he comes into any interaction with on a day-to-day basis are the folks asking him questions.
Yeah. Well,
that's it.
Wait, to that point, Fox didn't cover the press conference yesterday, but I guarantee you everybody in Washington, D.C. was watching. And if you look at the hosts last night on that network, they were all basically calling it, first it goes from being a Democratic hoax to now it's a Democratic scandal. And so they can do whatever they want to do, but that's all the president's watching. That's all the president's hearing. So, again, when somebody actually asks him a question that punctuates that reality, he gets really angry.
He does. We covered that press conference live yesterday in our 9 o'clock hour. We were so striking that Fox did not. And it's a really good point because the intrusion of reality is so rare. Even his social media feed, he's not on Twitter anymore. He's on Truth Social. That's his own site. That's all he's seeing. And even the way the White House has sort of hijacked largely the press pool, that it's mostly friendly faces. He doesn't do large news conferences anymore. He doesn't take questions often from sort of mainstream media reporters, and he doesn't allow reporters who ask tough questions into the pool very often. So it's even then in those settings, it's rare that he gets a tough question. And the last couple of days, he's reacted poorly when he does.
And now he's asked ABC to have their license pulled, and Brendan Carr, what a guy, retweeted it.
Okay, MS Now senior congressional reporter and host of Way Too Early, Ali Vitale. Thank you very much for staying on with us. And still ahead on Morning Joe, we'll show you the moment the president appeared to dismiss U.S. intelligence that found the Saudi crown prince likely had some culpability in the killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Plus, we'll be joined by Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, one of the lawmakers leading the charge to force the Justice Department to release all of the Epstein files. And as we go to break, a look at the traveler's forecast this morning from AccuWeather's Bernie Rayno. Bernie, how's it looking?
Mika, a little wet snow this morning. The AccuWeather exclusive forecast calling for some slippery travel. Northeastern parts of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey. Rain, New York City and Philadelphia will break for some sunshine in the afternoon. Chilly in Boston. In the southeast, AccuWeather says